ready to unlock the secrets of courageous leadership? Today we dive into Dare to Lead by Brené Brown, the ultimate guide for anyone who wants to lead with strength, heart, and authenticity. Let's get started. Now, before you click away thinking, leadership? Pfft, I don't even lead a goldfish. Trust me, this book is for anyone who wants to show up braver at work, at home, or even in that dreaded family WhatsApp group. So grab your coffee or your emotional support snack, and let's talk about how to lead without pretending you have it all together. Here's the big idea. Leadership is not about titles, corner offices, or how many people laugh at your bad jokes in meetings. Leadership, according to Brene, is about one thing: having the courage to step up, step in, and be vulnerable enough to actually connect with people. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Vulnerability feels like running a marathon in flip-flops. But Brene gives us the tools to actually do it without spraining our emotional ankles. Let's break it down. First up, vulnerability. Most of us hear that word and think, nope, not today. It conjures images of weakness or oversharing. We're taught to armor up, act tough, and keep emotions in check, especially at work. This emotional armor feels safe, like a shield against judgment. But here's the twist from researcher Brené Brown. That armor is also incredibly heavy, weighing down our ability to connect and truly lead. She flips the script. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage in action. It's the strength to show up and be seen when you can't control the outcome. So what does this look like in practice? Think about it. It's asking a question when you don't know the answer. It's admitting you made a mistake without making excuses. It's saying, I don't know, but I'll find out. It's also pitching that wild idea you've been nursing, knowing it might fail. Or giving a colleague tough but necessary feedback because you care about their growth. Each of these moments involves risk and emotional exposure. That's not weakness, that's bravery. It's like showing up to karaoke night. The cheesy backing track starts, your palms are sweating, and you have a choice. You can retreat, or you can grab the mic and butcher a classic. When you go for it, even if you're painfully off-key, what happens? People don't laugh at you. They cheer for you. They aren't celebrating your vocal talent. They're celebrating your guts. They see someone being real and taking a risk, and they cheer because you had the guts to do it. And here's the key takeaway. Leaders who avoid vulnerability avoid connection. When you choose armor over authenticity, you prevent the psychological safety your team needs to thrive. You signal that mistakes are unacceptable and questions are a sign of weakness. And without that foundation of trust, leadership is just bossing people around with better stationery. True leadership, the kind that inspires loyalty and innovation, is built on creating a space where your team feels safe enough to take their own risks, knowing you'll be the first one cheering them on. Next, Brene talks about rumbling with vulnerability. Don't worry, this isn't WWE SmackDown Emotions Edition. It simply means being willing to have tough, honest conversations, the kind where things might get messy. You know, like when your colleague's idea is terrible, but they're really excited about it. Or when you need to give feedback that feels more awkward than explaining TikTok to your grandma. Rumbling is about choosing courage over comfort. Leaders who rumble say, I'd rather have this uncomfortable talk now than clean up a bigger mess later. So yeah, rumbling isn't about winning the fight. It's about staying in the arena, even when it's hard. That's leadership. All right, let's dive into our third big idea, and it's a game changer, living into our values. Now, when we hear the word values, it's easy to picture those glossy motivational posters, right? Brené Brown argues that real values have nothing to do with wall art. They are the deeply ingrained principles that guide our actions, especially when no one is watching. She calls the space between our stated values and our actual behaviors the values gap. It's saying your company values work-life balance in the job description, but then celebrating employees who answer emails at 10 p.m. It's a huge red flag for any team. Think about it. If you say your core value is respect, but you consistently interrupt people or, as Brene hilariously points out, roll your eyes more than a teenager at the dinner table, guess what? Your practiced value isn't respect. Or maybe your company champions innovation, But every time someone brings up a new idea, it's immediately shot down with a list of budget constraints and potential risks. The message you're actually sending is stick to the status quo. This gap is where cynicism is born and trust goes to die. So how do we close this gap? Daring leaders don't just talk the talk, they walk the awkward, sometimes inconvenient, but always powerful walk. This means operationalizing your values, turning them from lofty ideals into teachable, observable behaviors. For a leader, walking the walk means having the courage to hold someone accountable for disrespectful behavior, even if they're a top performer. It means being the one to say, "This doesn't align with our value of integrity," even when it's the easier path. And here's a fantastic pro tip from Brene to make this real for you. Pick just 2 core values. That's it, just 2. Why only 2? Because more than that, and they lose their power and become a meaningless wish list. It's like trying to navigate with a compass that points in 5 different directions. You'll just end up going in circles. Once you have your 2, the next step is to define 3 or 4 specific behaviors that support each value. What does it like? If your value is connection, a behavior might be, "I will listen without multitasking." If it's courage, a behavior could be, "I will ask for help when I need it." This transforms your values from abstract concepts into a practical guide. This commitment to living our values is the foundation for our final point. All right, let's talk about trust. Brene gives us a cool acronym: braving, boundaries, respect mine, I'll respect yours; reliability, do what you say you'll do; accountability, own your mistakes; vault, keep confidences, no gossiping; integrity, choose what's right, not what's easy; non-judgment, don't shame me when I mess up; generosity, assume people are doing their best. Basically, if you want people to trust you, don't be a human version of an expired coupon. Unreliable and disappointing. Build trust by showing up consistently, not perfectly. Final big idea, rising strong. Spoiler, you will fail. You will mess up. You will say something dumb in a meeting and think about it while brushing your teeth 3 years later. Brene says what matters isn't avoiding failure, but how fast you get back up. Leaders own their stories, even the messy chapters. When things go wrong, instead of blaming or hiding, courageous leaders say, "Yep, that was me. Here's what I learned. Here's what I'll do differently." People don't follow perfect leaders, they follow real ones. The conclusion? So, here's the summary in one sentence. Dare to lead is about trading comfort for courage, swapping perfection for connection, and remembering that true leadership is more about hearts than job titles. Let's unpack that. Trading comfort for courage means stepping into tough conversations and admitting you don't have all the answers. Swapping perfection for connection means understanding that perfectionism is a shield that prevents real trust. Daring leaders know that sharing imperfections builds connection far more effectively than projecting a flawless image. And finally, leadership being about hearts, not titles. This isn't just for the C-suite, it's for the intern with a new idea, or the colleague who offers help. Leadership is an action available to everyone. If you only take one thing from this book, let it be this. Vulnerability might feel risky, but it's the only path to real trust, innovation, and authentic leadership. Without it, you get what Brown calls armored leadership, a style based on control instead of collaboration. Vulnerability dismantles that armor. When a leader says, "I'm not sure, what do you all think?" or "I messed that up," it creates psychological safety. It sends a message. It's okay to be human here. In that space, trust blossoms. People feel safe enough to pitch that wild idea that might just be the next big thing. That's where innovation is born. Not from a fear of failure, but from the freedom to try. And hey, if Brené Brown can research vulnerability for 20 years and still admit she sometimes struggles with it, you and I can cut ourselves some slack too. This isn't about flipping a switch to become perfectly vulnerable overnight. It's a daily practice. It's messy, and some days you'll retreat to your armor. That's okay. The goal isn't flawlessness, it's courage. It's about choosing to show up, even when you can't control the outcome. So start small. In your next one-on-one, try asking, "What's one thing I could do to better support you?" and then just listen without getting defensive. That's a daring act of leadership. If you found this breakdown helpful and you're ready to lead more bravely, show your support by hitting that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into transformative books. We want to build a community of daring leaders right here, so let us know in the comments. What's one small, courageous step you plan to take this week? Remember, the principles in this book are calls to action. Choosing courage in one small moment can create a ripple effect. Thanks for watching. Now go lead with your whole heart.